Frederick is here for the last page, page 6, for our midterm review for the SAT questions. All right, we have a laser technician. Sets up a laser at A, 2, and a target at 3, A in the XY plane. If the resulting laser beam is perpendicular to another beam modeled by this line, immediately my brain starts thinking about perpendicular lines. What do you know about perpendicular lines? Very good, Nicole. They do cross, right? They hit. But opposite reciprocal slopes. That's what they have. Opposite reciprocal slopes. So you already know that that's definitely going to be a part of this. So I made a sketch, but you don't have to. All right? This is just for me. So I said, okay, this point is a... Come on. All right, come on. Whatever I did, I'm sorry. A2. And this point is 3A. All right, and that's a line. It's a laser. Okay. Now, when I see those 2 points on that line, my first thought is, what's the equation of that line? So I'm going to find the slope. Oh man, I'm losing it. Come on. There we go. All right. So we have the change in y over the change in x. Did I do something wrong? Sorry. You were whispering. Okay. So it doesn't matter which one you make as your first or second point. It really doesn't. I'm going to use 3, A as my second point because it was the second one listed in the problem. But it doesn't matter. So we have A minus 2 over 3 minus A. So that is the slope of this line. Do we all agree? All right, that's as far as I can go because I don't know what A is. All right, but I do know we have this other line. 2x minus 3y equals a negative 8. Okay? And let's find this. Did I do something? Negative. Yep. No. Okay. I'm going to write that in slope-intercept form. So negative 2x minus 8. Divide both sides by negative 3. So you get a positive 2/3 x plus 8/3. Now, I don't care about anything in that line except for its slope, which is positive 2/3. So what is this slope up here going to be equal to? The opposite of 3 over 2. And now you've got a proportion. All right, so you can cross multiply and set these equal to each other. So you have, is something wrong? No, it's good. Negative, I feel like I did something wrong. No, well, we're going to find out. So I'm going to multiply negative 3 times 3 minus A equals 2 times A minus 2.
I think it's correct.
Okay. So I have negative 9 plus 3A equals 2A minus 4. I'm going to move this 2A to the other side to be with the 3A by subtracting 2A to get negative 9 plus A equals negative 4. And then A is equal to, if you move the negative 9 over by adding 9, negative 4 plus 9 is 5. We did it. That's right. Wow. Man, that was good times. So a couple things you need to know from this question. First off, make sure you feel confident in the formula for slope. Then you need to understand about perpendicular lines and their slopes being opposite reciprocal slopes. All right? And everything else from there was proportions, which is middle school. No cross products are the same in proportions? Okay. Let's do 31. Cross products are equal in proportions. And you multiply cross products in a proportion, they must be the same. Okay. Right? Students will always say, oh, the butterfly. I said, that's a thing? Yeah, it's not a thing. It's not. Okay, no, not a thing. Okay. I mean, butterflies are a thing, but like when they burst out of the cocoon, then they're a butterfly. Right? If you ever read The Very Hungry Caterpillar, that's your homework for tonight. Okay. Number 31. We have a livestock buyer must purchase a total of at least 40 cows and sheep. When I see the symbol, or when I read the words at least, I think of the symbol greater than or equal to. At least 40 is 40 or 41 or 42, so more than 40 or equal to 40. That's at least. So immediately I'm thinking, oh, well, A is going to be wrong. Well, because the livestock buyer needs to buy at least 40 cows and sheep. So it needs to be 40 or more. And so B is also wrong. If it had said no more than 40, then you would have eliminated C and D. Now it does say, Jennifer, no more than, in a way. It says her truck has a maximum weight of 20,000 kilograms. So no more than 20,000 kilograms. All right? So no more than 20,000. And the only one that has that is C, because it has this one with 40 and that one with 20,000. All right, that's called a linear system of inequalities. All right, let's go to 32. Nope, 32. Oh, don't worry, I'll be posting it. 32. It gives us a line, and it says they're going to move the line 5 units up and 7 units to the right. And what's the slope of that new line? And they're trying to mess you up here. Because if they just take this entire line and move it up and right, it's going to look exactly the same, just in different location. Okay? So the slope is unchanged. So all you got to do is calculate this slope, and you have your answer. Okay? So I personally like to start with the y-intercept, but it doesn't matter. The y-intercept looks like it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I go up 1, 2, 3, and then it looks like you're going over to the left 2. So up 3 and to the left 2 is a negative slope of negative 3/2. And we did it. It's B. We're going to stay. Yes, Adrian? Okay. Number 33. Oh, Kenya, another question about a proportion. It says, if 2 over a minus 1 equals 4 over y, and then it tells you y can't be 0. Why can y not be 0? You cannot put it in the denominator. Awesome. Now, it can't be 1, because 1 minus 1 would be 0. What is y in terms of a? So you're solving for y. When it says y in terms of a, that means solve for y. Okay? Well, let's do our cross products. So 2 over a minus 1 equals 4 over y. I'm going to multiply 2 times y and 4 times a minus 1. Stop it. Is there a question? Adrian P?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And now it says to solve for y. So I'm going to divide by 2. So y equals 2a minus 2. And the answer is A. If you know how to find the cross products of a proportion. I would say the most common mistake when students do this, if they know what they're doing, is they'll multiply 4 times a minus 1, but they'll forget to distribute the 4 onto the minus 1. So they'll write 4a minus 1. Okay? I don't know if what would have happened. Let's find out. It would have been C. So most students are wrong. The best wrong answer would be C, I guess. I mean, that's not a good mistake. So, okay, let's. 34! Complex number multiplication. My goodness, we just did this. You should know all of this. So we should be multiplying. What's 14 times 7?
Good question. 98.
98. What's 14 times 12i? 168i. And then minus 14i and minus 24i squared. All right, so that's going to be 98 plus 154i minus 24 times negative 1. So that becomes plus 24. My bad. And then 98 plus 24 is
122.
And so your answer is D. Oh my goodness. Well, because I know it doesn't matter. Honestly, when I first read this problem, I noticed that in the answer choices, the only things that were different were the 74 and the 122. Like I noticed this had the same coefficient for I, so I knew I just had to find out what my real number was. So I don't do all that work. All right? I did for you, but I wouldn't do it for myself. Now, do you guys see how A and B are just real numbers?
Yeah.
These would have to be what to get real numbers? The conjugate. The conjugate. It would have to be the conjugate. But the word is the conjugate, because only one thing is the opposite, the imaginary piece. Adrian? It's not what I meant. Okay. Number 35. Now, number 35, I'm going to show you two ways to do it. Okay? Now, I think the long way to do it is to look at this and ignore the fact that it wants you to do something else with t at the end. So if you just look at this, you have two inequalities. Okay? You have negative 9/5 is less than negative 3t plus 1. Or and negative 3t plus 1 is less than negative 7/4. So you could solve for t for both of these. Let's do it. So if I move that 1 over with subtraction, what's a negative 9/5 minus 1? Because negative 9/5 minus 5/5 would be negative 14/5. Yes? You can use calculators, guys. Less than negative 3t. So t is going to be greater than, or excuse me, less than, because you got to switch the sign because we're dividing by negative 3. Well, what is negative 14/5 divided by negative 3? Who's got it? Okay, well then I'll do it. Let's see. 14 divided by 5 divided by 3. It says 0.93 repeating. Any questions on how I got that? It's okay if you do. Hit the sign or the button above, enter. Oh, I did this right here, Jennifer, which is negative 9/5 minus 5/5. I changed 1 in my brain to 5/5. Everybody good with that? Yeah. And over here, this might be a little easier. Oop, let's get that over there. What is negative 7/4 minus 1? So minus 4/4. Negative 11/4. And if you divide, we got to change the sign again. So what's negative 11/4 divided by negative 3? What is it? 0.91? 0.916 repeating. Thank you. Okay. So from here, if you look at these two, what's a value for t that's going to be less than 0.93 repeating, but greater than 0.916 repeating? 0.92 is what most students would choose. So t is 0.92. Is that the only one? No, but that's probably the most common one picked. And then what would you do with that t? You plug it in for 9t minus 3. So 9 times 0.92 minus 3.
Would this be a bubble one?
It is a bubble one, so there's lots of answers. Student produced. 5.28. Thank you, Karina. I heard you. Apologize. So this is what I would be bubbling. Can I show you guys a different way? No, that's too much. This was enough. I want to do one more way. Can I just show you one more way? Okay. You go. It's right above it. Right here and above it. You don't have to write.
Is it easier or harder?
Well, you'll decide. So what I noticed at first, I figured I'd do this way to show you you can do the long way. But you see in the middle, and you see this over here? If you take this and multiply it by negative 3, you get that.
Oh, I got it.
So if you multiply everything in here by negative 3, watch. So you get positive 27 fifths is greater than 9t minus 3, and that is greater than positive 21 fourths. Now, can someone in their calculator do 27 fifths as a decimal? 5.4. And will somebody do 21 fourths? Okay, so what numbers are greater than 5.25 and less than 5.4? 5.28 is, which is right. Or I heard somebody say 5.3. 5.35. Now, the key thing if you're going to do that way, guys, is do you see how I multiplied everything by the negative 3? So these numbers became positive, and what happened to the inequality symbols? They change because you're multiplying by a negative number. So most students that do that might forget to make the inequality symbols the other way. Okay, so you can decide, Adrian B, which one you think is easier. All right. I think the first one is more work. All right, but it might be easier, but it is more work.
Oh, I get it.
All right, that finishes. Thank you for the farty noise, Marco. That finishes our recording of page 6 and all of the SAT questions. Make sure to study for your midterm. Have a great day.